The director we chose for this project is Steven Allen Spielberg. He is an American film director. He is known as one of the most famous film directors in history, while he has directed 36 of his own films. He helped make over 100 movies. Chances are you have already watched many of his movies, his most famous ones being E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Jaws,
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
Schindler's List,
I'm sorry, you can't have him. He's on the list. If he were an essential worker, he would not be on the list.
I'm talking to a clerk. What is your name?
Jurassic Park,
There it is.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Saving Private Ryan.
Hey guys, we're looking for Captain Hamill.
Somewhere down there.
Across the square? Across the square. Go easy. Watch for snipers. Sit down.
Steven Spielberg was born on December 18, 1946, in Cincinnati, Ohio. His mother, Leah, was a concert pianist and a restaurant manager. His father, Arnold, was an electrical engineer involved in the development of computers. His family was Orthodox Jewish. Steven attended Hebrew school in 1953 to 1957. In high school, he was bullied quite a bit. When Spielberg was 12 years old, he created his first home movie with his toy trains. As he got older, he would make 8mm adventure films at home. He graduated high school in 1965. Then he applied for the University of Southern California's film school, but he was denied because of his C grade average. But he ended up getting an unpaid editing job at Universal Studios as a student. He eventually was given an opportunity to make short films for theaters. He won several awards and was offered a 7-year directing studio contract. He was the youngest director to sign a contract with a major Hollywood studio. Spielberg dropped out of college to begin directing professionally. He later returned to the California State University and completed his degree in film in 2002.
There is a reason why Spielberg has directed 36 feature films and his net worth is $3.7 billion. Regardless of the story, his films reel the audience in and immerses them into its world. Spielberg knows how to make people feel how he wants them to feel, and he does this with a couple techniques. The Spielberg face and the Spielberg Oner. Now, Spielberg did not invent these techniques. They've been used in many movies for many years, but his versions are done so well, comparatively to other directors' methods, that the film community has coined them the Spielberg face and the Spielberg Oner. I'll explain each technique briefly and give examples to support them. Let's get started. The Spielberg face. In his movies, Spielberg will have an actor stare off screen at something, either in shock or awe, and he will couple this with the camera movement. Most of the time, he dollies in towards the actor as they perform the expression on their face. Then Spielberg will cut to the thing the actor is looking at for the payoff. In E.T. the Extraterrestrial, we see Elliot seated in his backyard looking into his shed. His eyes go wide, his face shocked as he sees an alien for the first time, and it happens to be in his very own backyard. Elliot and the audience see the obscured figure together. Then, with Elliot, we're shocked and filled with wonder and a little bit of fear. What is this thing standing before me? It doesn't look human. In this example of the Spielberg face, we are first given an opportunity to see the thing that will then induce the expression on the actor, and then thus on us. Jurassic Park really set a high bar for wondrous moments with the use of CGI for creating the dinosaurs. Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm first stare off at something off screen. Their expression changes as the camera dollies towards them, until it's mostly Grant that's visible. A tilt-up following Grant standing on his seat shows an even more bewildered expression on him. Ellie still hasn't noticed. so Grant turns her head for her, and the camera pans with his hand. Motivated camera movement. Then Ellie also rises, and the camera follows. She's the last to be in awe, but she is definitely in awe. The audience is now expecting something big, significant, and then bam! Living dinosaur. Jaws also does a reveal first, as in the scene in E.T., where Elliot first finds the alien. In the beach scene in Jaws, Martin Brody is keeping an eye on the water for the shark, but he's getting distracted by people trying to make conversation with him. We know the shark is somewhere out there, and we get an idea when we take the perspective of the shark closing in on children in the water. When we find the child screaming and flailing about in the mixture of blood and water, we look in horror. And the same is done for Martin on the beach with the vertigo effect, which enhances the Spielberg face effect as it distorts Martin's face like the unthinkable is happening. With the Spielberg face, you're directed and made to feel the same as the characters on screen. Couple that with John Williams' music and it is like you're living in the moment yourself. The Spielberg oneer, long takes, or one takes, are shots filmmakers love executing and filmmongers love to deconstruct and talk about. Movies like Goodfellas and Creed have very impressive looking long takes. 1917 was shot to make look entirely like a one take. They're all very cool and fun to watch, but Spielberg does his oneers quite differently. His don't draw attention to itself. They seem natural, fluid, seamless. Spielberg combines a few camera setups and, with excellent blocking and changing camera movements, angles, and focal lengths, his oneers appear to be some of the best in the business. This scene in Jurassic Park is a really good example of the Spielberg oneer for incorporating exposition. Exposition can appear to be lengthy, bland conversations on what is going on or what has already happened, and the shots during exposition scenes aren't always that great. However, in this scene, Spielberg incorporated moving camera to keep the audience interested. A wide shot is established, showing 3 characters. Then the camera pans with John to the right to finally see Malcolm and Ellie. Then John moves towards Arnold as they have a little dispute. The camera moves with him, starting at a full shot of the 2 characters and going to almost a cowboy as they speak. When John turns and walks towards Ellie again, the shot size is now a medium to a medium close-up hybrid. Talk about a dynamic and engaging scene. There is no action in this scene, but the exposition happening here is important, and Spielberg needs the audience to pay attention. This is exactly how he does it. In Munich, the poet enters the store with the medium shot, the camera panning with him from outside to inside the store, leading to a 2-shot with the store clerk. The conversation between the two is kept at a medium shot, but changes when the poet goes to make a phone call.
Cosa desidera?
Una telefonata.
Sì, certo. No, non c'è bisogno. Non c'è
Insisto,
bisogno.
Clara, insisto. Grazie.
The camera pans a little and zooms in to the group outside with their car. As the car drives to the left, the camera pans with it, and we are revealed another character, watching the poet, going from a medium shot to a close-up. 3 group of characters, all captured in one camera setup. Not a whole lot happens in this shot, but the way it's shot keeps it interesting. Long takes can make action scenes feel more intense. Spielberg does this very well without drawing the viewer's attention to the oneer itself. In Saving Private Ryan, at the Battle of Ramelle, we watch Corporal Upham get covered by dust and debris. Then he runs from cover. The camera and the audience follows him, dodging bullets, and goes inside a building. The shot of him going up the stairs is very tight. We feel like we are right behind him. He moves on screen for a couple seconds to get ammunition for his squad mates, but returns, still trying to stay out of the enemy line of fire. This oneer has enabled us to feel like we are right there in the middle of the battle. In this scene in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the drinking contest starts at a high angle, wide shot, but the camera moves in towards the contestants. The camera turns toward the man with a medium close-up, then follows his hand as he puts his shot glass down. Marion takes her glass. The camera follows her glass as she takes the shot. Then follows her hand back as she puts the glass down on the center of the table. This camera movement pattern is repeated for the man again. It's broken as the man loses consciousness. Marion wins the contest. This part of the scene could easily have been done with just a tripod and 2, maybe 3 camera setups, but they would have been very boring and traditional. This scene is so much more dynamic and eye-catching than that. Spielberg's oneers are amazing. They create many compositions in themselves to evoke emotion, direct attention, and keep scenes interesting, all while not drawing attention to itself.
Like a lot of other people, I was fascinated by Spielberg's films even before I knew or understood anything about filmmaking. Watching Jurassic Park growing up made me a dreamer from an early age. E.T. made me wish aliens were real. Well, that's a controversial topic for another day. A long time ago, when I started understanding the process of filmmaking, it is then I truly could appreciate the hard work and meticulous eye to detail that Steven Spielberg used to strictly observe in his films. What makes him one of the best directors is staying up to date with the technology. Even his earlier films like Jaws and Jurassic Park, he used animatronics and CG to achieve hyper-realism. Even till date, for films like Ready Player One, he still heavily relies on technology to connect with the modern audiences. Whether it is aliens, shark, or high-concept sci-fi. Spielberg tells great stories, and that's probably the most important skill he's equipped with. A few iconic characteristics that can be associated with Spielberg that makes him stand out of the crowd are the crack into the actor's face to capture every ounce of emotion. Spielberg has repeatedly used this style to capture horror, surprise, or awe. Larger than life background score. Music makes up 50% of the film. A film is visual and audio. Along with the epic, larger than life background score is the gripping visuals. Spielberg successfully captures his audience every time with this trick. Children play an important role in the film. Everyday people tend to do heroic acts, and that makes an audience feel connected to them. Especially, children help them by inspiring them and being the driving force in their life. Spielberg tries to keep his character in the middle class zone with very real life struggles. Connecting with the audience is the key to retention of attention. People connect with the on-screen characters and imagine themselves in their place. People leave the theaters with a positive attitude that normal people are also made for extraordinary achievements. Well, these are some of the few reasons that his movies have received 131 Oscar nominations with 34 wins.
Spielberg has inspired millions of people around the world with his ability to bring viewers out of reality and into a breathtaking, immersive environment. This man is the reason an entire rental company had a name. Many use him for inspiration when starting into the world of filmmaking, or even just escaping from the harsh realities of life, and it's easy to see why.
I would tell kids who want to make movies to make movies. When I was a kid, the only way I could make movies was borrow money from my father and borrow his 8mm movie camera and borrow the money because film was expensive. The film and the developing of the film was expensive then. Today you can take your telephone, your cell phone, and you can make a movie on that. And if it's a really cool movie and it's funny and it's dramatic or whatever, you can post it on YouTube. So it's a lot easier for kids today to get started and follow their passion and pursue their heart's, desire to be a filmmaker, because the tools that were less available to my generation growing up are completely available to yours. So there's no reason why you can't express who you are through video.